But what about the metabolic effects of growth hormone? Well, growth hormone also enhances fat utilization, and it does this by causing fatty acids to be mobilized or pulled from fat storage, which would then increase the amount of fatty acids circulating in the bloodstream, and these fatty acids could then be utilized and burned as energy. And so the ability of growth hormone to both promote fat utilization and increase protein synthesis in connective tissues and muscles causes an overall increase in lean body mass, which is another reason why proper levels of growth hormone can be beneficial for fitness, muscle growth, and body composition. And even why some in the fitness and bodybuilding world may try to even take exogenous growth hormone in the form of an injection. And let me be clear, that's not what I'm recommending here, because we want to focus on optimizing the natural release of growth hormone. And this is where we start getting into our discussion about how proper sleep habits can help us to do this. Growth hormone is released in pulses, increasing and decreasing throughout the day. And you can see this pulsatile pattern with the graph. But you'll notice on this particular graph that there are a few larger spikes. And what is accounting for this? Well, there are a handful of things that stimulate the release of growth hormone. Some of these are low blood glucose or low concentrations of fatty acids in the blood, which can occur during fasting or starvation. It's also stimulated by exercise, trauma and stress, and during the first 2 hours of deep sleep. And one thing that we didn't mention earlier is that the pituitary gland that released the growth hormone was often referred to as the master gland, because it doesn't just release growth hormone, it also releases many other hormones that control other endocrine glands throughout the body. But we know that the pituitary gland actually has a boss of its own, this structure above the pituitary gland called the hypothalamus. And it's important that we mention the hypothalamus because the hypothalamus is one of the body's major regulators of homeostasis. And so if the hypothalamus gets feedback or signals from the body about conditions of fasting or starvation, emotional stressors, physical stressors from trauma, or physical stressors such as exercise, it can tell the pituitary gland to release more growth hormone in response to these different conditions. And the hypothalamus is also involved in regulating the body's circadian rhythms, the sleep-wake cycles, and therefore tells the pituitary gland to release the hormone during a certain phase of sleep.